Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our broadcast on this Thursday, August 6th, 2020. It is great to be with you. We're live on Facebook and we'll be uploading to YouTube after today's broadcast. I'm broadcasting from our farm in Alma. We'll be here through Saturday. Back to Elkins Saturday evening or perhaps an early Sunday morning drive, depending. And I want to begin by sharing with you a trivia question. So feel free to go right ahead and text an answer in if you know the answer. This one has two answers. What kind of birds did Noah send out of the ark to look for signs of land? There were two types of birds. What kind of birds did Noah send out of the ark to look for signs of land? And now for some good humor. Today's humor focuses on the armed forces, and we want to thank all of those who serve our country in the armed forces. We are very much proud of you and praying for you, and thank you for your service. The new Army recruits were rousted out of their bunks at 3:30 a.m. "You're wasting the best part of the day already," screamed the sergeant. One recruit turned to another and muttered, "It sure doesn't take long to spend the night around here." Hopefully he said it with a very low tone. Here's another one. "We received our uniforms today," a recruit wrote to his mother from boot camp. "It made me feel very proud, although the pants are a little loose around the chest." Oh, it's good to laugh. I need to laugh. It's part of my being. And Susan and I are constantly cracking each other up by something funny that we say or do. So humor does not stay very far away from our family. And now for today's passage, Psalm 100. Psalm 100. This is a psalm of thanksgiving, as the title indicates, and it is the only psalm with that title. It is short, simple, and rich. One of my favorite Bible scholars is G. Campbell Morgan, and he stated, "It is jubilant with confidence for the whole earth as it contemplates the glory of that earth when all its people are submitted to the reign of Jehovah." Charles Spurgeon also stated, "It is all ablaze with grateful adoration and has for this reason been a great favorite with the people of God ever since it was written." It is indeed a psalm of thanksgiving. Now let's hear it. "Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he that made us, and we are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name, for the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations." Now, there are 7 commands here, and I want to briefly mention them. Shout, which is another word for noise or joyful noise, depending on how you shout, what you shout. Worship, come, know, enter, praise him, give thanks. So looking at each word, shout in this context means be vocal and hold nothing back. Shout to the Lord from deep within. Worship. This word also contains an element of service within the idea of worship. Every act of true worship is service, and every act of service is true worship. There's one to try on for size today. Come is an invitation. It's a sweet word signifying that everyone is invited. Know. This is just not a thought, a mental exercise. It is an action based on experience. You know because you participated in the thing that you know. Enter. The invitation, which is for all to come in, is to come into the inner court of the temple, which was once reserved only for the Jew. But now everyone is welcome. It's available to all. The invitation is real. So it's like saying, come all the way in. Praise him and give thanks are related because they denote intimacy, a personal relationship. What a holy wonder. Isaac Watts wrote 52 books, 29 of them on theology, but he is best remembered for his hymns. He wrote more than 700, and even today the average modern hymnal will have maybe 20 of his songs, 270 some years after they were written. When he died, he was reciting one of his favorite hymns that he wrote. It appears on page 60 in our most current hymnal. I'll praise my Maker while I breathe. He repeats the first stanza as the fourth stanza, so I'll start with verse 2. Happy are they whose hopes rely on Israel's God, who made the sky and earth and seas with all their train, whose truth forever stands secure, who saves the oppressed and feeds the poor, for none shall find God's promise vain. The Lord pours eyesight on the blind. The Lord supports the fainting mind and sends the laboring conscience peace. God helps the stranger in distress, the widow and the fatherless, and grants the prisoner sweet release. And now the fourth verse, which is also the first verse. I'll praise my God who lends me breath, and when my voice is lost in death, praise shall employ my nobler powers. My days of praise shall ne'er be past, while life and thought and being last, or immortality endures. As you can tell, he was a deep thinker, a deep writer, a profound man. As a matter of fact, in his day, they sang the Psalms in worship, and he just thought they were too boring. To him, they sounded more like a funeral dirge, and he came home one day and said to his father he didn't like the music, and his dad said, if you think you can do better, son, write us some. And his church was willing to listen and to give him support, and it literally changed the Christian world. There's a fairly recent song that was written by a young man who was the worship leader at his church. He was a very talented singer, but apparently the preacher there took him aside and told him that he couldn't lead the singing at church any longer until things changed, because he saw that this man was more interested in attention that he received rather than worshiping the Lord. Now, to say the least, this young man was angry. And yet the words of the preacher were true, and he knew it. 6 months later, he wrote a song and taught it to the church there. The name of the song, Heart of Worship. The writer and singer, Matt Redman. Here are some of the words. When the music fades, all is stripped away, and I simply come longing just to bring something that's of worth that will bless your heart. I bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within. Through the way things appear, you're looking into my heart. Then there's the chorus and these words. King of endless worth, no one could express how much you deserve, though I'm weak and poor. All I have is yours, every single breath. My goodness, the psalmist, Isaac, and Matt, they all got it. They understood that worship is a mindset. It's a heart set. And you can worship anytime, any place, not just on Sundays. We can choose to have a worshipful attitude. How? By spending a few moments entering into conversation with God, thanking God for his blessings, praising him for every breath like Matt did and like Isaac did and like the psalm writer did. Giving time in service, for true worship is service as true service is worship. So what song does your life sing? Does it sing a psalm or a song of victim or victor, sponge or spray, sunshine or shadow? If you are not already, would you be willing to make your life song about him? Let's pray. God, we give you praise today while we have breath, and may every breath that we have, every moment of our lives, testify to your undying presence and your sacrificial love in our lives. Lord, surround us and protect us and lead us. Fill our hearts and minds with true worship each and every moment of life. May our whole life be an act of worship and service that we give back to you. And we ask all of this in Christ's name. Amen. I'm going to see if we have some answers here on our scroll bar. Very good. I'm going to try to wave back to some of you here that have waved in. See if I can get some things to move. See if we have any answers. Sue Lowther has said that he sent out a dove and a raven. And you are absolutely right. Well done. And those are all of the answers that I see on my scroll ticket here. Great to have you with us today. I wish you the very best. Looking forward to spending time again with you tomorrow. May God richly bless you each and every moment with his attitude, with his presence. Take care, and God bless.